Hello, friends. Welcome back to the NECC. A slight technical pause. I should say, as you know, honestly, I was like, "Oh, welcome back." Of course, we haven't been live, but hello, welcome. It's a brand new NECC season, fun and good times galore. Reliq and Gaogaen guiding you through the action for a first series, which, as I previously mentioned, the joke went completely unnoticed because again, none of you were here. But it's all about you, Gaogaen.
Okay, I heard the joke, and I can assure you that I chuckled at least a little bit. So you can rest assured that at least somebody found it a little bit entertaining. But Reliq, it's always a joy to be here with you. It's a joy to be back here for another semester with NECC. Also, I was thinking about saying NECC season 10 times fast. I would stumble after the third. But regardless, yeah, you said that we have had the first game of the series. Obviously, nobody was unfortunately able to see it, but we have University of Hartford versus the University of Massachusetts Amherst Maroon. This is an Emergence Northeast matchup. One game already in the books. It is 1-0 to Hartford. Game 2 shortly on the way here. We saw a good bit of entertaining play and overtime to boot as well in game number 1.
I was always taught it was volume over mass. Turns out it's heart over mass, as opposed to heart over mind. Very confusing pseudonyms, but nothing really too confusing out there on the field, actually. There was a lot of great offensive plays with a brilliant team goal, actually, from Umass. It was really awesome seeing all three players getting involved with a beautiful finish far post. But, and that is in capital letters at that, to finish first you must finish. It's an old racing adage, but certainly something that we can apply here. And from 3-2 Gaogaen with 10 seconds to go, or 20 seconds to go, I should say, somehow UMass ended up losing it.
Yeah, it was
Well, game number 2, and if you are just joining us now, first of all, again, welcome. Every single game, or every single series, I should say, every single matchup that is appearing on your screens will be a best of 5 in layman's terms. First to 3 wins, that's yourself a point on the board in the overall table, and that table is what's going to be determining who goes to playoffs and who doesn't. At the very start of the season, you want to put your best foot forward. University of Hartford has done that through a 4-3 thriller in game number 1. And now really does come the most difficult part, Gal, looking to follow it up. But so far, the passages of play are certainly promising.
This definitely has looked a lot more convincing. From both teams, we've gotten past the first minute. A couple of shots towards the frame, but nothing too threatening on either side. Hartford, however, looking to pick up where they left off in scoring fashion. Bit of a miscommunication from Amherst of UMass. Can't quite find themselves on the push out here. A couple of clears. It just ends up right back into the hands of players like Kat Kitsu, who, well, won't have very many hands for now until they respawn back in the corner and immediately take to the ball once again. You can see Hartford just want absolutely no share of the ball in their defensive zone, and they're doing some quick work to get it out, but UMass are starting to bring the heat right back at them.
Now, major issue from game number 1 for the Maroons of UMass were all 5 of their shots coming through MP3. Here he is again with a shot that rattles the crossbar. It's a smaller shot here from Squiggles that finds a player, and then another challenge sees this ball head on over to the far side of the pitch. First real threat from UMass, and no goal to show for it. It certainly would be against the run of play had they put it away. But as we head towards half-time, that 0-0 is going to get ever and ever more slightly edgier between these two, because ultimately for Hartford, they know that should they go ahead and should they get themselves a second win, that's going to be match point scenario. Settles the team down very nicely, especially when we're talking about now first matchup of the season.
It's all all about who can jump into those windows of opportunity faster. Hartford a bit shaky there defensively. They've got the save away. Spy with a clear connects to Astro. Nice 1-2-1 play setting up. Broken up, however, as Astro tries to revive what fell by the wayside. What? Can't get that one going much faster out through the corner, however. It's center up. Spy has plenty of time before the challenge comes through. But Hartford look calm, cool, and collected. They've let this one get all the way to the goal line. And oh no, Kakitsu had every single read written in the stars. 2 minutes to play. Hartford get the early lead.
That is a certified diamond mistake from Squiggle. To be fair to NP3, he should be shouting at his teammate, in position, I've got this. And he would have had it. He would have had a very easy opportunity to get a strong clear. But because Squiggle throws it right back into the path of an on-rushing striker, that's a free shot. It's a well-taken shot. And much which was the case in game number 1, unfortunately, to say Gaogaen. Umass shoot themselves in the foot.
Oh, and Hartford won a strike while the iron's hot, but Astro denied up from the top of the backboard here. All three of Amherst Maroon stacked up in that corner. That can only mean one thing. The ball's headed back towards that orange net. What can UMass do to get themselves out of this precarious pickle? Spy, well, can assist it just a little bit with the team pass. Not really sure how coordinated that one was, but Astro with a beautiful challenge. Astro with a second jump. Won't have any resources for the third, but gets enough of a bump here to slow down the ball, and it's a one-man show until Kakitsu comes through. It's down to the far side, and Spy tucks it home.
Spy throws themselves at that near post opportunity with a flom. You were talking about pickles earlier. Well, that was a kingly goal from University of Hartford. 1 minute remaining. UMass don't look very good to get back into it as it stands.
Story is as bold as it could ever be. Again, the game one that went unwitnessed for many saw UMass struggle to get the three-headed Hydra approach going. It's not always the most critical thing for every team, but in the emergence division, you've got to have everyone on the mark here, and it is clear that Hartford are doing just that. Spy tacks on another pass as Hey Buddy cannot corral the ball in the corner, centered up, and Hartford may as well write themselves off into a 2-0 series lead.
Big pre-jump, reads it well. Nice to see they're on brand with that goal explosion as well. But UMass, the shots have dried up. The creativity has dried up. Running a one-striker system, especially at this level of Rocket League, of course, the university scene we're talking about here at NECC, it's not the end of the world, but you've got to service your striker. And right now, MP3 has been living off scraps.
Centered up once again. This game all but done and dusted for Hartford. UMass trying to get any little bit of momentum that they can, but you can see just the slight missteps in communication. Passing plays, however, and a beautiful vision there to get to Astro, who will get it to the backboard anyway and prolong the inevitable clear that UMass think they can get to. 5 seconds on the clock. It's not going to come through, is it? Astro makes it tricky. That ball hits the ground. It is a shutout here. A stark contrast to what we had in the first game of the series, but Hartford nonetheless look like they are on the ball and not interested in getgetting off anytime soon.
That's a certified yikes from me, Sheaf. That's really an uninspired performance more than anything. A flourish of activity midway through when it was still 0-0. And unfortunately, with the extra addition of hindsight, it's fair to say that had they scored, maybe we're talking about a different game. Maybe we're talking about a reinvigorated trio. As it so happens, it goes the completely other direction. We have one goal go in and a second and then a third, and UHart looking better and better with each one.
And I think that's the problem. You alluded to servicing your striker and trying to get MP3 into the equation more often, but that takes the effort of Shadow and Squiggle, the teammates here, to set up plays, whether that's on or off the ball. We haven't seen enough from them in Game 2 to convince us that they have it in the tank for the rest of this series. And I say the rest of this series as if it isn't completely on UMass to extend extended from this third and potentially final game of the best of 5. It's not how you want to open your season here for UMass, but Hartford aren't really giving them the time of day to do anything else as Astro runs that one through. Spy, again, a beast of a challenge to get this one in front.
I'd say UMass are going to be having nightmares about the challenges that they're encountering, every single one going against them. And don't get me wrong, praise should be most certainly served unto University of Hartford because they're positioning their cars in the correct way to give themselves the best chance of winning those challenges. To be fair, that was a perfect play right up until the last moment where Astro saves it off the net. Oh, they still can't get one through. Speaking of the challenge, what a brilliant read from Spy. UMass denied.
Oh, there's a lot of confusion going around this particular sequence, however. I think that UMass just wanted to get this ball clear. They didn't want it to get into the lower third field of play. That makes perfect sense, but what you've done is send it off the sidewall, allow Hartford to recycle themselves, come right down the shooting lane, and keep that pressure going. It delays UMass from getting the offense that they want. You can see now 2 stacked up in the corner. It's a recipe for disaster. Hey Buddy gets a touch away and fortunately has this back boost to grab it. Here's Astro with a big bump. It's almost clear. Squiggle struggles to clear the ball away. University of Hartford circling again, almost as if they're playing with their food at this point in time. Only a 1-0 lead early on in game 3, but they don't look any less confident.
UMass need to find some boost and they need to find it quickly. They are utilizing not a lot because not a lot is being recouped here, and University of Hartford being allowed onto so many pads. Double demo though, massive power play, but that is an unfortunate clearance if you're a UMass fan. Goes very much in favor of Hartford. This is a pretty decent drive forward actually from MP3, forcing the blue team back. Cat Kitsu's got to get a piece of this, does so, gets a second piece of it, but here's MP3, lovely dribble play, and that is a solo maestro.
You want a spark to wake up the team, ignite the fire? MP3 is your guy, doing it all right now. You called out the play off of the double demo. It was a tough conversion for UMass to make in the first place off of the initial pass, but MP3 made something out of nothing and then some. It continued on. They rolled that boulder through to the offensive zone. Hopefully it doesn't come right back at them, because one must imagine UMass happy to be pushing this ball closer and closer to the blue net if they never get it through, but only for one time here in game 3.
7 minutes and change without a goal. That's been stopped. And what an important goal that is as well, to tie things up. Talking about new life earlier. Well, certainly a lot more about UMass as the assault is continually recharged. University of Hartford with the longest period of successive defensive maneuvers that they've had to string together really since the end of game number 1. A pinch goes into the middle via Katkitsu, but look at that, so many players on the back foot now. If you are a blue defender, you're starting to worry.
MP3's done a really solid job of controlling the ball as well. Second opportunity in this game that they've kept it as close as possible and done a really solid job of threatening with the shot. Squiggle tries to do the same. Oh my goodness, the most confident pass off of your own post I think I've ever seen. It's going to result in a counterattack here, but Squiggle shuts it down immediately. No block there from Hey Buddy, however. But UMass, they've gotten away with a whole lot in that sequence.
We just saw the Rocket League equivalent of a Baldur's Gate dice throw. Hey, guess what? The passing check is only 6. Easy, right? And then you just about roll a 6.
Right.
That was a close one. That was a really close one. And University of Hartford hearts in mouths as another shot across the bow, spiked up. And Astro deals with it as well as he can. No second touch, helped out by Katkitsu. Squiggle takes possession, bumps Katkitsu, looking for that 100 boost. He palms this off to MP3, striding forward through the air. Spike intercepts. He's going to get a little bit of a touch on this one. Spikes back into the middle, but there's MP3. They have complete control of the midfield.
That initial aerial from MP3 ate up so much boost because they didn't get high up enough. They had to use the boost to get up into the air in the first place. But as soon as they landed, they picked up another 100. MP3 wants to be the initiator for this offense and for this team. Might as well have just gotten UMass back, but Spike Spy corrals it from the goal line and may well get a counterattack going for Hartford themselves. That's 2 going down. Astro pulls off. Spy to the sidewall on yet another challenge, but Astro's gonna have a world of trouble trying to get that one on target. Odd angle. Spy goes back, plays slow on 1, tries to keep it low on 2, right off the bar. Kakitsu to put it bar down, and it's out of there. Kakitsu goes back in, but we stay tied.
007 almost in 00 heaven with a wonderful goal line clearance, almost setting up the assist, but now they've got the goal themselves.
It's all for naught for Umass Amherst. All of the work they did, the highway robbery that was the post taking away that touch earlier on in the game, it's all wiped clean off the slate. The only thing they stare at, that 1-2 with 25 seconds to play. Spy trying to control the ball, doesn't do so well enough. MP3 initial flick, here's the jump from Squiggle, that's well done to beat. Second touch, inbound, it's dead center, but hey buddy, can't get the shot off. Backboard, follow through, demo, it's all beautiful, but it all went wrong. The ball went wide. That could be it for Umass Amherst. One last chance, it's right down Broadway, and that's not gonna be good enough. Squiggle misses, ball hits the ground. And we've got ourselves a sweep. University of Hartford hold on for dear life to get a 3-0 win.
We most certainly did take a trip down Broadway, and the theatre we ended up in, the primetime show, a tragedy, Gaogaen for Umass. What a shame. All that sustained pressure only to end up with a goal down the other end. And I think, honestly, the key moment there was kind of shrouded by a smokescreen, unfortunately. Beautiful play, demo on the goalkeeper, the goalmouth awaiting the shot, and it is scuffed. But that is the difference, Gaogaen, between staying in these series and going home with a 3-0 loss. Umass will learn a lot from this one, especially with the peaks and troughs. I mean, let's look back to that game number 1. Great offensive output. The question really for me in that post-mortem, where did that go in game number 2?
Exactly. I love the chances that UMass were able to find in the clearances because they certainly waited. Obviously, you had Spy on University of Hartford, who was often trying to set up these passing plays for Astro and the like, but oftentimes they hit the middle of the field somewhat uncontested. That's where UMass needed to strike, and strike they did, but without the efficiency they needed to score those goals. It was severely lacking in the moments that mattered. And in this best of 5, where it goes by so quickly, if you're not on that lead foot, I think UMass just found themselves out of place a bit too often in this series. They were right there at times, but right there isn't going to get you these wins when the competition is this close.
It's a sweep then to open up our season here in Rocket League at NECC for the 23-24 school year. There is a lot more where that came from. And at the top of the hour, we are going to return from emergence to the now second tier of proceedings. Oklahoma Academy going up against the Spartans. Folks, you do not want to miss it. So get up, have a bit of a stretch, grab some water, hydrate, and then get back here. We'll see you then.